Lefty podcast, Onora Boys in building. We are brought to you by Onora Whiskey, OnoraWhiskey.com. It is that premium American whiskey, OnoraWhiskey.com. And if drink next to that nice fireplace left half of his right shoulder, make sure you do it
responsibly.
Let's get it. Lucky Podcast. Malik here. Sean Davis, SD2 Mics. Brought to you by Whiskey, OnoraWhiskey.com. Today, GM search continues. Now, can they close deal with James Blanchard? Do they have to move on to somebody else? Let you know what we know, what we think. What position is going to be the biggest change in college football over the last 10 years? Is it quarterback? Is it running back? Is it offensive line, defensive line, defensive back? We'll talk about that. And you know we're going to talk about LA Streets. Our old boy is first from the championship. Even now. Gotta love. GTP questions, soup ads, get them in, man. We're ready to answer all your questions on today. Man, how you feeling? How you feeling, bro?
Good, man. Good. Just the off season's here. Big moves have happened in sports. Pat Mahomes Bowl is this week, and it's just good all around, man.
All right, so we're going for what, a three-peat?
Huh?
You're going for a three-peat.
Going for the three-peat.
How are you feeling about that?
I think this is if any time to do it, we've never seen it done, and for the greatest quarterback to ever live, if he were to win this, it would just be amazing that he was able to do this in 7 years. But when you have a defensive coordinator who won a couple Super Bowls himself, and Andy Reid, who's won a couple Super Bowls himself, and it's a one-game situation.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what makes it hard. You know, everything has to go right that day. And for a guy who went from having every big number you can to now he can win with 100 yards, he can win with 300 yards, he finds ways to win. It's kind of hard to figure out how to just beat him, but the Eagles, if any team, they got the talent to do it. They can rush him. They got some decently good secondary. Their offense is annoying enough to wear you down and score points.
Mm-hmm.
Eagles is a well-ran organization. And shout out to Ian Book. Who knows? Maybe Ian Book saves the day in the Super Bowl. I mean,
come on, bro.
He's going. I mean,
he's definitely going.
This is the Notre Dame's first Super Bowl quarterback. It's pretty amazing. And just our luck, Ian goes and throws a game-winning touchdown somehow. So who knows? But it's good to see Irish in the Super Bowl in some way.
Shout out Drew Tranquil going 3 in a row, though.
His story is incredible, man.
Incredible, bro.
I mean, some people are just meant to win. I mean, that's really what it feels like. So he did a great job bouncing back from what a lot of people, would count you out on, was able to grow and evolve into a new position in the league, not in college, in the league. And it just got right time, right place. He's got all the charisma you want. Smart guy. So it's no surprise. Shout out to Isaac for retiring. Isaac Rochelle retired, but he, He
He had
didn't.
a career. He gained a little money. Probably saved up nicely.
Yeah,
Well,
he's
Isaac
a
played for 10
7.
years, didn't he? So he'll get the pension. 7 years, he got the pension. Because I believe the pension is at 5, right?
Yep, he's
5
the
or
next
6.
Don Lemon in the making. You know, he's super
Definitely.
media out. Yeah,
Definitely.
super media out. But I think he's transitioning to the right career for him. You know, shout out his girl and his relationship. They done blew up together doing it. So
Yeah.
that's
So
a happy ending.
you did say something. He was the first. Ian Book the first Brian Kelly quarterback back to the Super Bowl? Is that what you're saying?
First Notre Dame quarterback in Super Bowl, I guess.
No, bro. Joe Theismann and Joe Tanner. I mean, come on, dog. It's been Notre Dame quarterback Super Bowl. It's been a while, but it's been some.
Been a while, but you know, shout out to Ian being Brian Kelly's first Super Bowl quarterback. That's huge. You know, Irish has been in the Super Bowl and the national championship, so it's been a good year so far.
Yeah. Okay. They haven't called left for an interview yet for the GM position.
I wish.
James Blanchard, current GM at Texas Tech, Joey McGuire, head coach Joey McGuire. Yeah, bro. Is how left, the longer it drags out, it's not good in my opinion. The longer it drags out, it's not good in my opinion. He will be run higher. He does it differently than Chad Bowden does. I don't see James Blanchard dressing up as a left con and all those other things. And he has a different way, a different swag. That is, his swag is probably a good match for Marcus Freeman and where this program is going. They made a size offer. Actually, I don't think that's the issue. I think it's just one of those things left where it's about fit, but because the GM position is changing, it's changing, and now you're talking about power. That's basically what you're talking about, bro.
Yeah, and you know it's going to be important that in year 4 you're supposed to be figured out, program in the direction that you want to be.
Mm-hmm.
So to take a step back in this instant just doesn't appear as the right move that needs to be made for Marcus Freeman, especially with a schedule a little tougher than last year. Some games that are up in the air still until we see what we have on our end. But you know, I think this will be a tougher year. It'll be interesting. Like I said, I mean, recruiting, the defense, quarterback, questions in a lot of places right now, and I think that's natural. Coming off of a national championship, coming off of having a successful season, being that it is Notre Dame, being the greatest stepping stone for any coach or any player that's transferring. Shout out to Deion Cosley and Jane Thomas's finding homes at Virginia and University of Miami. It's pretty good. But it's one of those things. I think this is Marcus Freeman getting seasoned. This is his seasoned season. Because at this juncture, you're supposed to know how to operate and run. The first 3 years are built to give you the trajectory of, is this a reoccurring theme being in the finals?
Yeah.
Or is this boom or bust? There is no more glamour to what the hype of the program can be because we've been there. We got there. We was within 11 points of winning the whole thing. So now it's okay.
You said that like it was close.
So now the shine is wore off.
Boy, you are such a golden domer, bro.
I'm just saying we should have.
We
I
were
mean,
we were 11 points away
11
from
points
winning it
away.
all.
So for real, he was. But it is interesting. Where does Marcus Freeman go? Because teams that we beat are getting stronger. Penn State's coming back and got better in
Yeah,
their coaching department. Uh, how do you match that in terms of they're going to be a finalist going into next year? I believe. I don't, they may even beat Ohio State next year the way they got things kind of lined up
but
seasoned wise.
they definitely have improved. Well, Tom
They've
Allen and
retained enough
Jim
to be,
Knowles,
yeah,
they
they've done enough to be like, okay, if y'all hold it together, y'all might have something. So, I think it's one of those things where Marcus Freeman isn't starting as high as where we finished, and I think that just happens when you lose a national championship as opposed to winning one. At least Ohio State can say, "Well, we did cash in for one season, so what if we lose all these people?
yeah,
We Ohio State, we'll figure it out, and we accomplished the mission." So it's like a spotlight is kind of, whatever.
yeah,
For us losing, it's like you're not maintaining the core in which got you there necessarily. Things are different. The schedule's different. The situations that we've been holding off for so long are now here, like the quarterback situation.
yeah.
It's been almost 3-4 years since we've played a quarterback within the room, since we had an Ian Book, essentially, type of 4-year starter from the same place. So I think it'll be questions to answer. Denbrock has to wrap his mind around a first-time starter again, but in a totally different mindset offensively. You have to scrap all of last year's film, basically, because you just don't have that effect at quarterback like you do. You don't even know, to be honest.
Yeah.
So I
So,
think it's going to be good. Go ahead.
let's see. I think it was Black Rhino. Yes, Black Rhino 75 said, "What in the world would make him stay at Texas Tech?" So I'm gonna keep it all the way funky, left. I'm gonna keep it all the way funky. Everything in the world is not about money, especially when you're widely known as the best in the business. Notre Dame doesn't have the leverage in this situation, in my opinion. James Blanchard has the leverage because James Blanchard can wait for whatever job he wants to come around.
Yeah, he ain't got to work on
Who's to
Notre Dame's
say?
time.
Who's to say? An SEC school doesn't come around next season, where he doesn't have to worry about admissions, where he doesn't have to worry about um, all types of things that he might have to worry about at Notre Dame. I mean, it's a fair question. That's number one. He holds the leverage. It's Notre Dame, Marcus Freeman has been pretty adamant that he wants James Blanchard to take the job. Number two, James Blanchard has full autonomy over a program. Dude, you can't, if you're going to be in management, who wouldn't want full autonomy, bro? You're not getting full autonomy at Notre Dame. You're just not. So now you have full autonomy that you're losing, and you have
High,
hurdles that you
high
don't
pressure
have.
situation. This
Yeah.
ain't, this is not Texas Tech. This is no. So it's like playing for the Lakers.
The Oklahoma position could open up next year in the SEC. A couple of other positions in the SEC or the Big Ten could open up. Like every year, moving forward, every year, he's going to be the biggest commodity in the GM space in college football. And thirdly, he has 5 children with his wife. They're all from Texas, and their entire family is in Texas. That's a lot. And South Bend, Indiana is not Texas. Now, I don't know. They live in Lubbock, but I believe the majority of his family is from the Houston area. So even though they live in Lubbock, the culture they come from is a Houston, Texas culture. That's a conversation he has to have with his wife, man. That's just a conversation he has to have with his wife. So this is not like, he's a home run hire, but I don't know if it's like a all around perfect fit. There would be some sacrifices, but I think there would be sacrifices on both ends, or there would need to be sacrifices on both ends to make it work, Left. There would be sacrifices on both ends to make it work, And if Texas A&M probably can't match Notre Dame dollar for dollar.
Notre Dame's gonna lowball you now.
No, dog. I've heard pretty much what the offer is. I don't see Texas Tech matching that. I just don't. But they don't have to match it. All they have to do is just come close. If they can come within 250, hypothetically, let's say hypothetically, if it's a meal, and Texas Tech can give them 750 or 700. 700 in Texas with no state tax.
Pretty good.
And the comfort level of staying home, full autonomy, and some of those other things, and knowing that he can wait for the next big job to come around, if that's how he wants to play it. And then the agent. Last but not least, the agent. What is his agent saying? How does his agent feel? Because his agent is in contact with Notre Dame, but I'm sure his agent is his job to look down the road and let him know, hey, these are the possibles next year in the offseason. So it's a lot going on. It's a lot going on with this situation. But the longer it drags on, because at some point, it's either yes or no. Right? At some point, it's like, all right, bro, like we can move on and go to the next candidate.
Yeah, I mean, time waits for no man, and as much as Marcus Freeman, which we've seen in the past, push for a guy, the decision's gonna come eventually, and hopefully, whatever way it is, it's on timeline for Marcus Freeman to continue to push this program forward. But it is interesting, a national championship team wants you to come. It's a lot more than just, like you said, the money, or it's more about the fit in the situation. I mean, uprooting your family to South Bend and anything can happen. You know what I mean? It's one of those things where I can see a guy like a guy we had previously, more of a career chasing type of opportunity. For a guy like Blanchard, it might just be he's comfortable where he's at. He's just secure. You got your security, you're most wanted. You got leverage. It's a lot more in his favor than ours. Surprisingly, being a team in which we just went the distance with. So it's one of those things, man, where I'm excited to see how Marcus Freeman navigates this in a year 4 type of situation, as opposed to what he faced last time going through this situation, and what he could and couldn't control. I think he has more control in this environment, and I think they trust him more. But at the same time, it is going to be interesting to see how they let what's the leash like Marcus Freeman. Because if I'm him, I'm like, look, y'all gave me a pot of beans, and I made Thanksgiving out of it now.
Yeah, and then
Get there.
Left the timing of it. the timing of it, to be honest, if this was Notre Dame trying to build, Notre Dame and Marcus Freeman might be more open to a longer leash. But this is Marcus Freeman and Notre Dame coming off a national championship
Right.
with a guy that might be top 5, top 6. He's not considered the best,
No, but he can make some
like
moves.
James Blanchard is. But Chad Bolden is a pretty darn USC and Michigan thought he was a pretty darn good GM with the
Yeah.
offers they made, and him, actually going to USC, shall I say? But the timing, it was like, this is Notre Dame feeling like, okay, we don't have to capitulate. We don't have to. Is that the right decision? Like I said, we have to see how things play out. But other than that, I have heard this. I don't know if it plays into the Blanchard situation, but it's some hate being thrown Notre Dame's way. I'll leave it at that.
In what regard?
Just previous employees. It's some hate being thrown Notre Dame's way.
What, previous employees are taking shots or something like that?
It's some dirt being thrown Notre Dame's way. From what I'm hearing, it's some dirt, and it's some. In my opinion, it's some BS. Some sour grapes type stuff. You in business, bro. That we all say the expletive rolls downhill, bro. Like, you work for somebody, hey, you're a man or a woman set under authority. Just sour grapes. That's just what I'm hearing, man. It's unfortunate. Yeah, I said last week, I kind of put it out there like, hey, I hope cats from the West Coast aren't calling players, trying to flip cats. It's just, you would just hope that when people leave your program, that they would go ahead and move on to their destination and be grateful and thankful. So I don't know if I can't speak to how that impacts the Blanchard situation, but yeah.
Well, I think it is interesting to see how this shakes out. I think that this is, like you said, a real big piece to the direction of where the program can take, especially with what he's successful in and what we're losing. As much as we appreciate Chad Bolden, he's a pretty big force, apparently, due to the response he's getting from other college football teams. And then for us, replacing and reloading is just the mindset at Notre Dame anyway. So at the end of the day, I know we're going to get somebody good. It should be me. I'm still open. Call me Marcus Freeman. I'm right here. You don't have to lose in this situation whatsoever. Everybody can win. So it's one of those things where
they don't have to pay you a meal.
Start me low. I'm good. Start me low. That's all right. When we get back to the championship, let me negotiate. That's all. But Marcus Freeman is once again, this is what makes it one of the hardest jobs in college football. There is no easy road, even going to the national championship, that you're going to face, that you continue to face year after year. I mean, Brian Kelly went to the national championship in 12. 13 comes, he has a whole new team, whole new things to deal with. And then the year after that, it was a tough year, so it's just, oof. This job isn't easy, man. It's not like he's at Oklahoma or some of these other schools, because at the end of the day, you got expectation. People are expecting us to be back in the semifinals, finals again. They're not expecting Clemson or Oklahoma or some of these other teams that are good programs, Miami. They're not expecting them to be in the semifinals and finals. They're expecting Notre Dame to come right back and try again, like Clemson and Deshaun Watson. So that's the place in which we're at, because not getting close to that is just is not. It would be devastating to a programming year 4.
So that's what we have on the James Blanchard situation. It really is. The ball really is in his court. And I don't know the exact numbers, but from what I've heard, I'll speak for myself, Left. I don't know if I could walk away. I could care less what the city. I could care less about the leash. You changing my life and the life of my family like that. Like I said, now Texas Tech wants to step up.
Wait, you're saying you would leave with knowing what the numbers are?
If it was a sizable offer, there is a number that I heard floated around. If that is the offer, I'm talking about me. There would be no second thought. I would have took the job. I would have walked up to Marcus Freeman at the Royal Rumble with the contract signed.
Oh, so it's good money. Okay.
I would have walked up in the middle of the Royal Rumble on national TV like,
yeah, let me go ahead and get this to you before you get back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll be on campus tomorrow. We good.
Yeah, you hit the number.
U-Haul is already at the crib. U-Haul is already at the crib. I'm gonna go ahead, drive up, see the crib.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm just going to make this move real quick. Don't even worry about where I'm gonna be, because I'm gonna be on campus in the building at 8 a.m.
Right. But I'm a Midwest kid. So the adjustment for me would be pretty smooth. Might not be as smooth for everybody else. And that's just something to think about. And really, it would be disappointing, but I think there are a few other candidates that are really good at their job in college football. Really good. I think, Blanchard, Watson at Alabama. Oh, man, who's the guy at Texas? The guy at Texas, the guy that followed DeBoer from Washington. Those guys are considered the best at what they do. Let me see here, Left. Those are pretty much the top three. Blanchard is the only one that really, because you definitely don't see the guy from Alabama or Texas going anywhere. It's like there's no reason for them to leave. So Blanchard is definitely that dude. He's definitely considered that dude. But, like I said, man, this is going on. They've met this weekend. If it gets to tomorrow and nothing's done, if I'm Marcus Freeman right now, I'm already talking to other candidates. I'm talking to other candidates as quietly as I can. I'm not saying that's what he's doing, But that's what I would do. I would definitely talk to other candidates. Lucky Lefty podcast. All right, so that's the update on James Blanchard. Look, and Notre Dame's win total is at 10.5. 10.5 left. 10.5. How are you feeling about that? The early win total, 10.5 next year.
That's the standard. So
it really has been the standard. It's crept up from 9.5 to 10.5. Yeah,
that's nothing shocking to me. I think there's just too many questions right now to speculate past a regular season, and even just a quarterback for the first year going through the ups and downs when he hasn't had any real game experience. So outside of it being Steve, which it could be, if you're going to play Steve, you got to play another guy. I just think that's, if Steve wants to stay, it should be in a conjunction with one of our younger guys, Kenny or CJ, until one of them is, plays better to overtake Steve. But that's if Steve stays. And I think Steve can be that lead rabbit for the guy that we really gonna lean on to take over the job. And if I'm Marcus Freeman, that's how I would think of it, just because of the fact of the natural order in the quarterback room, and how it can best function getting to the point of the first game. And that's, as long as Steve is there, having that leadership and that veteran experience to get prepared for these younger guys in a first year experience. I mean, 10 games for a first year guy is not an easy thing.
Yeah.
Riley was able to do it just because he was winning games over where he was at, but even he experienced it with a good team in a bad schedule, how hard it can be early on, just getting into the swing of things, being a first year guy. So I think it'll be a little more of a challenge due to the philosophy in which we run our offense and what we have to do. We didn't have to do what we need to do this year, last year. And we have no choice but to do it this year. We can't run from it anymore. So that's going to be the question in the air. I got to see the spring. I got to see how the fall goes. But it's just one of those interesting situations, man, where there has to be a leader defined. Every season we go into it with the guy. Right now, we don't really have a guy. We have a bunch of dudes, a bunch of good players. Jeremiah Love's a guy, but who's that centerpiece for the team?
Lucky Lefty podcast. The other gentleman, whose name I've heard talking to several people about being one of the best, is Greg Brabenec. He's the guy that does it for Iowa State. He's another one that people talk about in high regards. So I don't know if he's on the short list for Notre Dame or anything like that. That's just another name outside of the guys at Alabama and Texas and James Blanchard that I've also heard several people mention. It's possible candidates or guys that do it better or are really good at what they do. Bob Crable, no. I have not switched from Juju to Hidalgo, and neither have WNBA scouts.
Yeah, Juju's a lot.
When you get to the NBA, people just, size means something, bro. It's like you can't. It means something. We're gonna talk about your Lakers though. Towards the end of the show, I'm just waiting. We're gonna talk about your Lakers. We're gonna talk about your Lakers. We're gonna talk about your Lakers. Huh?
Just go to the championship.
Say it again.
Yeah.
What'd you say?
We gotta talk about that Zach LaVine disaster that y'all let go. Why would y'all let go of that?
Dude, why do you keep talking about the Bulls as if they were doing something with Zach LaVine?
They were.
What? Losing every year?
No, a potential playoff team this year.
They were in the play-in, dog. That's where they have been the last 4 years. They have not moved anywhere. Every year they're in the play-in because of Zach LaVine and that roster. It's trash. And he's the leader of the pack. He's the leader of the trash.
Well, y'all let him go. That's
Yeah, but I do. It's Chicago, man. It's the worst sports city in the country right now. It's horrible. Dude, I've literally every franchise. I think the White Sox have by record, they should have a top 5 pick in the MLB draft, but they can't because of the new rule that says you can't have top 5 picks for consecutive years, if I'm not mistaken. So now I think they're in the teens because of that rule. Otherwise, you possibly would have all of your teams basically picking in the lottery or picking like top picks because they stink. It's crazy, except for the Cubs. The Cubs weren't that bad. They weren't that good, but they weren't that bad. All right, Left. In your opinion, which position has had the biggest change of the way it goes about doing its business from 10 years ago in college football?
in terms of what business? Like in terms of what?
Of how they play. Like, I think the running back position has changed mightily.
Oh, from 10 years ago?
Mightily.
Yeah.
From 10 years ago in college football.
I think the receiver has changed. The slot receiver being versatile, playing out these skinny Carnell Tate size guys that can play inside outside. I think that has changed. The athlete has changed, which made the offenses expand more because you try to find ways to get the guys that are not quite big enough to play running back but need the football, and they not necessarily, you don't want them that far from the ball, so you got them doing all types of motions and all types of ways of handing it off. And so I think that's been the biggest change that's forced offensive innovation. Has been the slot quasi receiver, because football 10 years ago, in my opinion, was, it was pretty much cookie cutter. You got your 6'4" receiver, your 225 running back, your Taylor Mays type safety with your Manti type linebacker. Like, it was just blocks. Now you get guys like Hollywood Brown and Marquise Lee and these quasi the Travis Hunters and these guys where you're like, what do you do with you? Marcus Freeman is adjusted in the 10 years. These two-way players. These guys that do multiple things. Xavier Watts, these court, so I think just the way the slot receiver has changed the game because the body types, which has made innovation bigger for offense. Yeah, Devontae Smith, like, he won the Heisman at 180, 165. Like what is that? He literally had games where he beat the other team by himself, had like 200 plus, like crazy numbers. At 170 in the SEC. Will Fuller. He's not anything bigger than 6 whatever, but he's running past people. And you're like, damn, he has to, it's like you have to change your offense for that. The Tyreek Hill. You had to change your offense for that. So that's what changed, in my opinion. Oh, Gold Tate,
Yeah, I'm going to go running back. And what inspired me inspired us to really talk about this was Jerome Bettis, his recent interview. If you guys haven't checked it out, check it out. His recent sit down with the Pivot while they were down at the national championship game. And he told a story about, of course, a great story about Lou Holtz coming to his house to recruit him in the hood with a Cadillac, which is actually funny because if you saw, videos of what Lou actually drove in South Bend, uh, he definitely rented the Cadillac. Detroit is definitely a Cadillac town. So shout
Yeah.
out to Lou Holtz and Vinny Serrato.
And reading the room.
Yeah, the small details matter in recruiting. The small details matter. But he said, I was the norm at running back in
Yeah.
1989. I was the norm. He said, now guys my size are your defensive ends. He said, you get a kid that's 6'2", 6'3", 200. He was like, dude, I was 245 in high school. He was like, that's a defensive end in college. That's a linebacker in college. He was like, and then there were a lot more elite running backs going into the draft on an annual basis back then. Now you might get one or two elite running backs. After Genty, who else is elite, in your opinion, coming out this year? Because the two Penn State kids stayed in.
I mean, Travion Henderson, I guess.
Him and Judkins.
Yeah,
I don't know if either one goes first round, though.
There's no elite. It's because the offenses are different, man. The offenses are solely dependent on a guy carrying the rock 25, 30 times in a game.
Yeah.
Genty became that guy because he carried the rock 25 to 30 times in a game, and he was elite at doing that. The likelihood you get Jeremiah Love, who was arguably right there, if not better, didn't have anything close to 25. His average probably was under 11.
Yo, next year you might see 3 running backs in the first round for the first time next year, bro.
The two Penn State kids and Jeremiah.
I don't think the 2. I'll just say the one of them jumps in the first round. Let's say Jeremiah Love jumps in there, right? Someone said Travion Henderson is actually going back to school. If he does, that would be dumb, in my opinion, especially with his history of injuries. But all right, Godspeed, my brother. Yeah, I think next year has a chance of possibly getting 3 running backs in the first round. It's a shot, outside shot, but that would be huge. That's what I mean. Like to get 3 running backs in the first round, it's like, oh my God. 10 years ago, that was definitely more than norm.
Right.
Defensive back is definitely a position just because of the volume now, the volume of attempts to deflect a pass or to make a play, right? Which makes it more difficult. I'll give you a great example, right? You have a kid, if you look at the numbers, you have a kid like Leonard Moore who is just flat out elite, right? And then you can look on the other side and look at Christian Gray, and you can't say he's not good at his job by the numbers. But the one thing that sticks out to fans is the 1 or 2 plays a game. But they throw the ball all the time now in football. It's not like, years ago where your best cornerback maybe got 1 ball thrown in his direction, maybe 2. Now, teams are throwing the ball all the time. So yeah, the defensive back position is definitely one of those positions I think the position that has become more fun to play is probably defensive line, right? 10 years ago, defensive lines, offenses were more balanced. Right now, defensive lines, I feel like they can just man, either they're crashing down on the RPO or the run game backside and allowing the linebackers to scrape over the top and take away, or the safety to come down and take away the quarterback if they're a part of the running game. But now defensive linemen are just getting upfield, man. Defense, especially the edge rushers, man. They just, I'm rushing the quarterback, crashing down and getting upfield. It's crazy. It's really crazy. I would love to play defensive end, man, if I had any type of size on me going into college football right now. The game is just easier, man. It's just instincts. Less about, read and run. If you do read the run, you're pretty much trying to set the edge and then let your linebackers make plays and penetrate and be disruptive. And who wouldn't, if you're big, athletic, and strong, who wouldn't want to do that? It's not too much thinking going on. You're just playing the game. For me, that's the position that's become more fun to play. I think quarterbacks become more fun to play because, of course, the game is in their hands, right? Ben Johnson said in his introductory press conference for the Chicago Bears, the determining factor for wins and losses for the great majority of the history of the NFL has long been turnover ratio, turnover margin. That has changed. And now number one on that list is quarterback performance. And that says a lot at how the game has evolved and how important that position is and how fun the position is. Like, other than getting hit and landed on by 300-pound guys, if you can get you an offensive line to protect you, it's a fun position to play. The position is the position, right? You have to know what you're doing. You have to understand playbook, checks, calls. But now, with all of this, look to the sideline to get the play, that's become easier as well. They have speakers in their helmets for 15 seconds to make the game easier. So that position, although it's still the most difficult position, I think there are a lot of resources that allow the quarterbacks to play at a very high level right now. A lot of things that help that out. I don't know, Left. Other than that, I think offensive line is and always will be overlooked in its importance. When you have a great offensive line, they get a lot of praise. And when you have a middle of the road offensive line or a decent offensive line, people act like they're the pits. And so it is with offensive line play. So it is, right? The great Notre Dame offensive lines get worshiped, right? And the ones that are not quite at that level just kind of get, Notre Dame just went to a national championship with slightly above good offensive line play. Wasn't dominant. Definitely wasn't dominant from a talent standpoint. Locked in, great leadership, cohesive, clutch, very clutch. More clutch than the previous offensive line with a first round and second round pick in the NFL draft who didn't get it done in the biggest moments in 2023. The 2024 team in the biggest moments were able to put points on the board. And to be honest, the offensive line fared very well, in my opinion. They played better against Ohio State than they did against Georgia, in my opinion, Left. Offensive line struggled against Georgia, especially in pass.
Yeah, I mean, on a one-on-one basis, absolutely.
Yeah. But they played much better pass pro against Ohio State.
Yeah, and I think, it's just so many things took place in that Ohio State game that we didn't fully get to do everything we probably wanted to. But just the level of O-line play that we had just throughout the playoffs, you got three of the arguably top 5 defensive lines, Penn State, Ohio State, Georgia, and to play consistently better through each game, it's a true testament to that championship type of DNA in the offensive line, that experience, that first round mentality, that that whatever that process is they got going on down there, it really shows itself each and every year. They're truly the part of the team that steps up when it gets
Mhm.
harder, and everybody kind of rallies around that effort, right? So whenever we're in big games, you never say, "Oh man, I'm worried about the offense line if we can block." We're always talking about everybody else. So for the offensive line to go in there and continuously through years, through different coaches, through different players, through ups and downs, whenever the challenge was tough for Notre Dame, the offensive line has probably played pretty much stood their ground, stood on 10 toes, and gave the effort to help us win. I think they did that in when we played every time we played Clemson. I thought they played pretty well. Even when Clemson had the four um, All American D linemen at one time. We were a touchdown away from that game, and that was just Trevor Lawrence threw a couple great touchdowns and nothing we can do about it. But the offensive line played great. When we played Alabama, offensive line played pretty good. So I think you're definitely right about the testament and what we were able to do up front, because that's always going to give us a chance to win.
Yeah, I think defensive line. Um, you stepped away for a second, left. I said defensive line in the last 10 years, in my opinion, has become more fun to play, especially from the defensive end. The defensive ends just get upfield and penetrate now. Either they're crashing down on the RPO, the run game, or they're getting after the quarterback. Because they know 60% of the time that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
40% of the time they're running around. They have to worry about a power run or setting the edge. Like, yo, if I was 6'4", 230, I'm definitely like, yo, I want to play defense. I want to get after the quarterback, come
Yeah, I
off the
mean,
edge.
there's a lot more things that have shown themselves from just scheme wise of what people want to do with the defense, and especially if you just got talent and you big and fast
Yeah.
and you just see ball, get ball type of mentality or type of player. What you seem to see then is just how fluid that position has become. From those tweeners of defensive ends to linebackers, from linebackers and safeties like a Jeremiah Owusu, a Kyle Hamilton, these tweener type of guys. And that makes it fun. Xavier Watts, guys that just kind of play and float. Drew Tranquil, safety linebacker combo. So these hybrid type of guys, which has evolved the game defensively and offensively, just that hybrid player. I think, true receivers like a Jeremiah Smith is a true receiver.
Mm-hmm.
He's not no could play this, could play. No, he's a receiver. Everybody else is pretty much the Travis Hunter and open the floodgates. I'm sure we're going to see a lot more of that next year. Guys playing both ways and just a different style of football where you can't be position focused anymore, like outside of quarterback. Because if it's no different than how people say you can survive off of just being a teacher and you know, a middle school teacher and a mailman. You can't do that today. You damn near got to have
Man,
a
bro, let
side
me tell you
gig,
something, bro.
grow
My
your business.
my godmother, she taught for 42 years. So she got grandfathered in. So the old rules before they changed them, I think they changed them 6 years ago here in Chicago. Their sick days rolled over.
Mm,
And when they retired, they got a check, a lump sum check for all of the sick days that they didn't take.
mm. Wow.
And she said she missed in her entire career, she missed 6 days of work. She got a lump sum check for all of her sick days, bro.
40-something years.
42 years worth. They changed that rule. The new teachers don't they don't get that.
Dude,
They
that's gotta
force them to
be
take their sick days, bro.
for
Like take them or lose them.
42 years. That's
42
like
years. She
in the six figures. It's gotta be.
it was
It's gotta
pretty
be.
it was pretty nice, bro. It was pretty nice.
42 years. That's just that alone. You know, forget how many days. Just the amount of
And it
years you're
sounds
just gonna be
crazy, but she was fresh out of college. So she was, I want to say when she retired, left, she was 66, 67, something like that.
Well, yeah, you can't do that no more. So it's
And
like now you
she
gotta.
just celebrated her 81st birthday
Wow, congratulations.
on New Year's Eve. Yeah. Yeah. So you're right. Times have changed, bro. It's not as sweet as it used to be.
Yeah, so you got to be entrepreneur with a job, with a side gig, with a hustle, with a passive income. You know, seven stream income. That whole thing that's becoming a normal. So it's no different in football. You know, so now football, you got to do more than just be a receiver. You got to do more than just being a offensive lineman that plays left tackle. We saw Charles Jackson be the best left tackle and play right guard, left tackle, middle, everything but center. And the more fluid and the more merit and credentialed you are these days, you know, the better you're off. But it's definitely not easy getting as qualified as you need to be for some of this stuff, just to maintain.
Yeah.
So Marcus Freeman isn't recruiting regular players. He's not just recruiting an edge. Hell, he's recruited a D lineman that plays O line and plays D line when we need him to. He got the only true position player we got on the defense is Drake Bowen. That's about it. Everybody else can do a little bit more. But Drake Bowen is literally a middle linebacker. I don't see him at safety. I don't see him in no rush. I don't see him blitzing. I don't know. He is a middle linebacker. Everybody else is fluid.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think I've had any family members attend the University of Chicago. I've had plenty of classmates from Morgan Park attend University of Chicago and stay home. The campus is totally different than what it used to be when I was in high school. Left, like I would actually strongly consider going to University of Chicago, which is respected as one of the great institutions academically in the country, but the campus was not as nice as it is right now. They really upgraded it. They held the McDonald's All-American Dunk Contest there the year that Jaleel Okafor came out.
Oh wow, that was 2014.
I think it was 2014. Yeah. So the facilities over there, man, top notch right now. And they added that little insomnia cookie over there. Yes, sir. And to my boy Jay Grizz, the Blackhawks have the second worst record in all of the National Hockey League right now. So they're not on the come.
You're not getting over there.
No, they are awful. They are awful. They might have the best young player in the league, but they are flat out awful right now. And that was the other thing. Like the sick days were not based upon, they were based upon, so she put in 42 years. So her salary by the time she retired left was six figures.
Yeah, no, seriously.
So she got paid on that rate. So it was like you get your sick days and vacation days. Whatever was in the contract that you didn't take, it just kept rolling over. And now you go ahead and you get that based upon your pay rate when you retire. Yeah, boy. That's why people will come up here and get into education and, man, buy a home, invest, do some other things. Like you said, man. Actually, U.S. Postal here, I don't know what it's like anywhere else. U.S. Postal here is still a decent job, bro. I know a couple of people that have been doing it for like over 10 years.
Yeah.
They're doing all right. They're doing all right. They're doing all right. GTB question before we get to the last topic and get out of here. Left. Thank you for everybody. Off season, both of us definitely on Tuesdays and Wednesdays are probably going to be doing evening shows. You can see here, I'm right here in my office in the city and getting work done here at the ministry. And Left is doing his deal.
Yeah.
They wearing you out, Left. They
Yes,
wearing you. They wearing you out, bro.
it's for a good time, not a long time. Good grief.
Oh man. D-Month, Mr. Food Lover, get your GTB and super chats in. I had this discussion with some Buckeye fans. If ND got into the NIL deal seriously, ND would rule. Do y'all agree?
We have a lot of things that would make sense and connect if we were able to use NIL like other people. I think it would make it the ultimate package because what wouldn't you get? You would
Mm-hmm.
probably raise inflation in South Bend if you bring all that money buying random cars and stuff. You turn the city up. But, Notre Dame uses its resources and value to use this is their NIL, their leverage in the situation, which is more of like, this is what we offer, but you got to still explore these resources and do the work. If we were to ever, I just think at this point it would be contrasting what we're built off of in the recruiting standpoint. Like I think we would just be totally different of a team if we use NIL from the office and the ministry. It just trickles all the way down. I mean, it would be tough. It would be tough to really even imagine it coexisting together. Like I think it wouldn't make Notre Dame if we used NIL at like a Texas, Oregon, Ohio State standpoint. It just wouldn't be. It would be. We might as well join the conference because at this point it's all directly opposite of how we decide to recruit. Like NIL is on the opposite end of the spectrum when it comes to what we are doing in every way instead of just giving up money. I mean, we'll go to the New York Stock Exchange, ring the bell, get on ESPN, do commercials, TV scripts, go to the White House, private jet. We'll do everything but give you some money. So I just can't even imagine us being like, let's give you some money and do this other stuff. That would be the most ultimate situation you get in. No, they would never do that. But that would literally be Charlie and the Chocolate Factory golden ticket. If you walk around Notre Dame with all the Notre Dame resources as you have $8 million like Nico Immobile, you would be mixing water and oil. You'd be mixing water and oil. Because you can't even make more than $1 million working for the school.
You have to. It's a perfect segue to the conversation. This. If you look at what transpired with Dallas and the Lakers, and you look at what's transpiring in Miami, and I told people this a long time ago, it's unfair. I want to make sure I say this. It is totally unfair. But history is going to find a way to try and blame LeBron James for the drop in ratings and the deterioration of the game of basketball.
Really?
Mark my words. I know the media. I know these analytic boys. They're going to use the player empowerment era that he ushered in as the direct connection to the decline of the NBA from a rating standpoint. Absolutely. And I
But
think
people already been hot on Adam Silver's trail of him just.
but see, the league is going to make sure that they push the stink away from them. They're
Right.
going to find a scapegoat, and it's going to be LeBron James. And what you're seeing, forget Dallas, forget the fact that they didn't wait to bring other teams in to start a bidding war and all of this. Do you see what Pat Riley is doing to Jimmy Butler?
Yeah, Pat Riley's trying to take the power back.
Do you see? Dude, the Dallas Mavericks just cost this man $126 million, bro.
They didn't want to pay that.
And didn't even tell him. But they didn't even tell him.
No.
At least have a conversation. The Lakers didn't even tell LeBron until the day before. And they didn't ask for his input. They told him what was getting ready to happen. The owners, because they know LeBron is the only one that can be the beacon. And once the beacon is getting ready to leave, the owners are about to take the power back, bro.
LeBron wanted to play with Luka since the beginning. Even
that's fine. That's fine.
Even to get him signed to Nike.
That's fine. Once LeBron leaves, that player empowerment stuff is over.
Oh, it's over.
It's a wrap.
It's over. It's over.
It's a wrap. It's a wrap. And maybe, just maybe, the players don't realize this because they love having the power and leverage, but maybe, just maybe, some of that power going back to the owners is just what the league needs.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just what the league needs to kind of
everybody likes some ratings.
Yeah, bro, because the game is, dude, 60 teams combining for, dude, I watched the game. I told you, I went to watch Sacramento and the Bulls play on a Sunday, and the teams combined for 86 three-point attempts, bro.
Oh, my God.
86.
In one game?
86 three-point attempts in a game.
Yeah. They're cheating out of watching basketball, yeah.
That's boring. But remember when everybody was talking about, oh, Steph Curry's making the game so much more? No, bro. It would be different if you had a specialist like him to stand out.
Yeah. Everybody should not be Steph Curry with the analytics stuff.
Yes. To be a Lamar Jackson type, right? Like
I
even
think that's
when
a
Lamar,
little different than Steph.
No. Because when Lamar was there, Deshaun was there, but Deshaun wasn't Lamar.
Right, that's a whole different.
Lamar was a totally different show, bro. He was a totally different show.
You can't imitate. You can imitate Steph. You can't imitate Lamar though.
No, you can't imitate Steph, bro. Who?
I mean, from the breakdown of scheme and analytics, how they shooting the ball, more time.
Who in the NBA is like Steph?
Not individually, but I'm saying as a mold or archetype.
No, I think my point is they're trying to emulate Steph and they're ruining the game.
Right. Yes, I agree with that. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying the same thing.
They're trying to find the next step.
Steph model.
Yes.
And because it's analytically, if we shoot more threes, it makes more sense and blah, 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 blah. But it was great when the Warriors were the only one doing it.
Thank you.
Because
they
then you
stood
had
out. Stood out. They stood out. And you had a style with two great players that were able to beat them when they were doing that. That was the rivalry. That was peak NBA, bro. Bron Kyrie taking on this style. That's what you want, bro. You want high-flying Michael Jordan going up against the nasty bad boys. You want that. You want the contrasting styles. That's what makes sports great, bro. That's what makes you love seeing the high-flying New England Patriots undefeated going up against Eli Manning in this defensive front with 4 pass rushers. Dude, that was great theater. Great theater. That's what it's all about, man. And now it's almost like the league has just become a cookie cutter league.
Yes, yeah. I mean, except Anthony Edwards and Wemby. You can't imitate Wemby. That's the best. That's good. When LeBron's gone.
That's why you get cats like Jason Tatum infuriates me, bro.
Yeah.
Man, fam, you 6'9", bro. You taking 12 threes a game. What are you doing? Man, post these dudes up. Go to the bucket. Get to the free throw line.
Make it look like they're paying you because there's things you can do that we can't. Chucking up threes, anybody can do.
Man, it's crazy. Just this year, go check it out. Search Trae Young on Instagram and X. They literally have a 7-minute clip on all of his field goal attempts to either tie a game or take the lead. 7 minutes worth, bro. Just this year, he has taken it's something crazy, bro. I think just this year he's taken something like 19 field goal attempts to either tie a game or win it at the end of the game.
You're saying that's a good thing or bad thing?
I'm just saying it's crazy because the majority of them are like step back threes.
Oh, yeah.
Threes from the logo. It's just crazy, man. He has a few floaters in there. He has a few floaters in there, but man, it's left the game that's the problem. But I think there was a clear and loud message sent that this is over. We know he's on the way out. We know he's on the way out because the Lakers pretty much let him know you're not about to hold us hostage this offseason. Like, we got another superstar. If you want to stay, stay. If you don't, we'll take that money and go get another star in free agency. It's like, it is what it is, man. Like, somebody said it, and at first I pushed back on it. They were like, this is the first time in 22 years that somebody made a move without giving a darn about what LeBron James thought about it. First time in 22 years. So it's a new day, man. It's a new day. Now I just have to pray because, the only way the Bulls get good is if we win the lottery, bro. We got Michael Jordan and we got Derrick Rose. Hopefully we can win a lottery, bro. That's the only way this Bulls organization is ever good. It is what it is, man. It is what it is. But shout out to Nico Harrison, the GM, because they tried to get him to throw Luka under the bus, and he was like, "Man, I'm not about to say anything bad about a player."
So you think he's in the right or the wrong? Do you think he's worth the hate?
I want to say this without the reasons why I believe the Dallas Mavericks is 2 reasons why people break up, Left, or how people break up. I don't care what the parameters are. It only goes 1 or 2 ways, right? Either it drags out or it ends abruptly. That's it. Those are the 2 breakups. They drag out or they end abruptly.
No in between.
Dallas had enough, bro. They had enough. Whatever that means.
Well, had enough of what? They just went to the championship.
Nah, bro. It is no. People in the industry know. It is well chronicled. The issues of this cat, Luka Dončić, off the court, bro.
Off the court?
The dude comes in 30 pounds overweight every offseason. What does that tell you about his offseason?
What Shaq say? He when he's in the off season, he's off and he works his way in shape in camp. That's what Shaq did.
Yeah. You giving somebody 350 million, 70 million a year to do that?
What Markeith Moore say? He said if you're getting 30, 15, and 10, what does out of shape mean?
How many? That's a great. I love that point. If you're prime LeBron getting 30, 15, and 10, if you're prime Jordan getting 30, 15, and 10, if you're prime Kobe getting 30, 15, and 10, you're not giving up 25 on the other end. That's the difference. That's the difference with Luka. The Mike, Kobe, and LeBron are not giving up 25 on the other end. Matter of fact, they might create another 10 for their other teammates on the other end. This dude has the highest blow-by rate in the last 2 seasons of anybody defensively. 42% of the time, left. Yeah, I can't make this up. 42% of the time, this dude gets beat off the dribble. 42, left. 42. Come on, left. 42% of the time? You can't. And he's like 5% ahead of like second place, bro. It's not even close. 42% of the time, Luka Dončić gets beat off the dribble as the primary defender. That's bananas, bro. So I can't fault Dallas for looking at that and say, dude, we don't want to play. He misses 20 games a year. He comes in out of shape. He doesn't defend. And you want us to re-up him for $70 million a year? Come on, bro.
So the market got too high.
Remember we had that conversation like in the next 5 years, somebody's going to be making close to $100 million a year in the NBA? Remember we had that conversation? It's going to change the way these owners look at players now, bro. Because if they're going to be paying $100 million a year,
they need to be in the championship.
Yeah, and cats need to take care of themselves. Like you better be working year round. You take 2 weeks off after the season, and you need to get back in that gym.
But nobody's doing the LeBron method.
There's a few cats doing that. There's a few cats in the leagues doing that. Shea does that. Shea Gilgeous is known for that.
Oh, well.
And you can tell. You can tell by his game. No, but great players the great ones that really want it, dude, that's going to be the challenge for Wemby. Like, all right, what are you going to do? What are you going to do?
Yeah.
Anthony Edwards is another one. He just loves the hoop. Devin Booker. You've seen videos of Devin Booker being mad that they double teaming him in pickup over the summer. Like, dude, these cats love to hoop. That's why they gave Devin Booker the Supermax. Like, dude, he loves the hoop. We can trust him. That Supermax is about to go away. And you know why I love it, Left? Because the stuff, look, as much as we talk about like Zach LaVine, the reason I was upset with the Bulls, because I'm like, yo, he's not a Supermax player, bro. It should for me, there should be a limit. Bron Supermax.
Yeah, it's only like 4 or 5
It's only like 5, 6. Yes. When you got people that are like tier 2 getting Supermaxes, it's a problem. It's a problem. I really wanted to expand this to college football before we left. I hope that at some point there is a correction coming in NIL. Because if some of these tier 2 dudes start getting big money in NIL, it's going to become a problem, bro. I'm telling you now, it's going to become a problem.
But nobody's really getting paid on a tier 2 level that's more than a Jeremiah Smith. Like, that's top dog.
Well, he's the best wide receiver in like the last 5 years of recruiting.
5 years?
Who's better as a freshman?
I mean, now they're throwing him the ball all the time, too.
Left, see, you trying to get these. Stop filtering the conversation. Name the recruit that was bigger, faster, and better as a true freshman in the last 5 years? You have to do some research, bro.
Yeah, I got to
Nothing,
research.
I guarantee you, there's no one off the top of your head.
I got to think. But no, he's special. But I'm saying I got to think because he's special. It's not like you just name anybody, you know.
You know, so that I hope they're watching. And fans will push back, players will push back. I'm not saying players don't deserve their money. But at some point, all right, we need to put some guardrails on this thing, bro. Not to stop the escalation, because I feel like the money needs to continue to move forward, especially as they get new TV deals and the schools are making more money and making brand deals and all that. There should be an escalator to make sure the players are getting their fair share. But dude. And the transfer portal they need to figure that out as well. Because players are really sending themselves off. Like your boy Jimmy Butler sending himself off.
But
he's fighting two battles, dude. You know what I'm saying? On one end, he's fighting Pat Riley. On the other hand, he's fighting his baby mama, who's asking for $65 a month. That's crazy, bro. That's crazy. She's asking for $65 a month, child support and spousal support. But this is the thing. She was never a spouse.
Oh, she doing a Tiger Woods lady thing.
She was never. No, Tiger was married, though.
No, not the chick that wouldn't leave the house. That chick.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's asking for $65K a month, bro.
But Jimmy got it, though. Yeah.
So you think he should just give it? Because he's fighting.
No, I think he should fight it, but I'm just saying it's not like it's going.
She wants the extra 10. She wants the extra 10 for the spousal support. The 55 is mandated. Like, there's nothing you can do about that. That's based upon your salary. So the 55 is mandated. That's for the kids. They were never married. 55K. A lot of people are saying, Jimmy, go ahead and just give her the extra 10 and be done with it.
The reason why you got money is because you keep money.
That's facts. I don't know how good his coffee is doing.
It ain't 65K.
That I try to stay out of like
crazy in any normal perspective. Like that's just like for anybody that's not dunking a basketball, that's what are you buying? What do you need that for?
Look, and I understand, that I think most fathers would want their children to have a good lifestyle, even if they weren't in the home with them.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so, 65K, bro. I actually had this discussion with my wife and her friends. Her friends came over to the house to watch the Grammys Sunday night. And they were like, well, man, you got to think about private school. I said, his kids are 5 and 2, dog. What are we talking about? Or I think his kids are something like 4 and 2 or something. I'm like, private school? And then you have to pay for the nanny. I was like, she's getting $65K a month. $55K without the extra 10 she's asking for.
And to be honest, that's not even $1 million a year. And that's why I said Jimmy could do it and it'd be like whatever, dude. Like Jimmy Butler has $100 million plus in the bank. What did he sign for, like 200 something? After they went to the finals or something crazy.
Yeah, so wants that. That's why he wants to go to Phoenix, because he already has a deal in place to get that last big deal.
And even the deal he had before this one coming up, you're talking about 100 plus, 150 plus million, and his baby mama asking for less than $1 million. So it's not anything to Jimmy. This is Jimmy a petty guy.
Oh, that's super petty.
Yeah. Oh, he's
That's
he's
super petty.
super
That's
petty.
left.
Bro.
Come on, man. $65K a month is a lot of money, bro. 55K a
Not
month
when
is a
you
lot of money.
not when you
No,
have
no, 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 no.
150 million.
If I'm not mistaken, the report is he's buying them a crib. So she's not paying for the crib. He's buying them a crib, cash, relocating her. She wants to go back to LA because they were living in Miami. She wants to relocate to LA. He's buying the crib in LA and paying 55. She came back and said, I need 10,000 more.
That's all under $10 million. When you got 100, 200 million, it's like cool. You can all right, whatever. All right, whatever. You probably don't even go see the crib himself. So Jimmy can't be tripping over the. I think it's over the story, the
Dude, if
publicity.
he's buying, first of all, if he's buying a crib in LA, let's say the crib is minimum 7 to 10 mil. Minimum.
He's not buying that.
What you mean he's not buying that?
$7 million crib? No.
In LA, left $1 million crib is a 3-bedroom crib at
No, I'm
like
saying
2,000 square feet.
he's gonna buy a $7 million crib
For her?
I don't know about that.
I said at minimum. Do you know? Wait a minute. Do you not know the housing market in LA?
No, I know it's crazy, but not 7 million crazy.
Yes.
He'll probably spend like 3 or 4 million.
No. Nah.
What is he trying to put her in the hills?
It's $3 million cribs in Inglewood.
Inglewood's nice. You see, they built the whole
I
stadium.
know. I don't think he's gonna put his family in Inglewood though.
Either way, he can do it. So
Minimum, her crib is gonna be 7 mil. Minimum. That cat AD just bought a new crib 2 weeks ago in LA, dude. 43 mil.
see, that's money though. Yeah, that's money. Yeah.
That's the high end. I'm telling you, the low end for NBA players, X and his kids, is right around 7 mil. That's
Okay, that's fair. Yeah,
that's the low end. That's the low end. So, that's 7 mil plus another 800,000 a year for the next 13 to 15 years. That's not chump change, fam. That's gonna end up being 13 to 15.
But it'll decrease if his money intake is decreasing.
Now, if he gets another big contract.
I mean, they would have to restructure it if that's the case. But
man,
he only got about 5 years left to play, and the way he doing his contract stuff, they might boot him out before then.
He'd probably get a 3-year deal. I don't see anybody giving him a 5-year. He'll probably get a 3-year deal, about 50, 60 per.
50, 60 per.
I mean, that's going to be the going rate. The Supermax is 70 this year, bro. So he's probably going to get 50, 60 per. Hey, raise your kids to be baseball players and basketball players. It's guaranteed money. Everybody go talk to your wives tonight. Hold hands and pray before you become one.
Patrick Mahomes deserves that.
Hold hands and pray before you become one tonight, and pray that you get a baseball player or a basketball player.
Patrick Mahomes can get 50, 60 million a year.
Patrick Mahomes is worth 70 to the Chiefs, bro.
Yeah, to the Chiefs, absolutely.
Easy. He's worth 70 mil. Easy.
He win this one. They have to give him part of the team. I mean, the team ain't even worth that much.
Man. So somebody asked me, am I saying that I don't want Luka? No, all I'm saying is I understand why Dallas abruptly broke up. I get it. I'm not saying that I would have made the same move, but I get it.
Yeah.
If my boy says, man, my girl did this, I caught her talking to this dude, I might be like, well, man, sit down and talk to her. You know, try to work it out. And if he says, no, dude, I can't, man, that's a deal breaker for me. Who am I to tell him what's a deal breaker for him? Maybe I could work through it. It's not a deal breaker for me. Obviously, for that new, once again, this is not Mark Cuban. New ownership. Whatever's been going on that Mark Cuban let rock, this new ownership was like, yo, we're not paying that dude. He's bugged.
Yeah, Mark Cuban was like, I didn't even know.
And then on top of that, Left, I guess there was some friction because he was acting a fool because in previous years, Luka was allowed to have his own S&C staff. Like he didn't work with the Dallas Mavericks strength and conditioning staff, bro. He had his own staff. And they did a horrible job. I mean, just look at his body.
You know. Michael Jordan had his
I
own.
guess, yeah. But Michael Jordan put in that work. Michael Jordan came to camp ready to play. New ownership is like the report at that first day of camp this year at media day. Cass was like, yo, this dude gained some more weight.
He didn't look 270 when he got out there playing.
When today? I don't know, bro.
He didn't look, but he's 6'9".
That exact, I mean, 270 is an exaggeration. People say Zion look like he's 300. So people
But
are
Zion,
exaggerate.
I don't know. Zion.
All I'm saying is I don't see one. When was the last time you've seen a cut or a rip on Luka Dončić's body? My man been in the league for 7 years, bro. He can't get a cut in his bicep or nothing.
That's not his body type.
Come on, bro. Look. Does he even have two? Can he get the top two in his abs? At least?
He's dropping 30, 15, and 10.
So, in other words, he doesn't care to put in the extra work because he's looking at the stats.
People don't roll out of bed with those numbers.
No, they don't.
So he's doing something people can't do.
And he's gonna find out that body don't hold up. That body, because first of all, you're not exactly the most athletic already, bro.
No, it's not.
That's number one. So you should have your tail in the gym to give yourself some longevity. Because if he loses a step or half a step,
he plays unorthodox already.
Okay, let him lose a step.
What step does he have now?
Oh, he has a quick first step. He does have a quick first step. If you watch him play, he has a quick first step. He has that step. He has that step that makes you say, "How in the world?"
Because it's slow.
Who are we just talking about? That's Riley Leonard. Okay, he has Riley Leonard looks slow, but you keep seeing him get the corner and the edge on people, except for Jalen Walker against Georgia. That guy Riley just threw the ball away. He tried to. No, that was not Mike. That was not Jalen Walker. It was Penn State. Yeah, Abdul Carter. He was trying to turn the corner and was like, "Nah, this ain't gonna happen."
Not on him. Not on him.
I love that play. I love watching that play. It was almost like Riley was like, "Oh man."
He's like, he's right on my.
Yeah, he's real.
He's right here. Yeah. No, he's like that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think that Luka's going to be good for LA because the attraction. International, getting 30 a game, you team up with LeBron for a couple of years. Hopefully LeBron can shed some good on him. But I agree with you. There's
See,
no.
Left, that's the issue, Left. Somebody, who was this said in chat? Oh, let me get this super chat from just one ND gal. Thank you for the super chat. B-ball talk. You guys got to watch Unrivaled. 6 ND guards out of 36 players. Skylar is crushing it.
Jules got a little trade stuff going on.
Yeah, I saw that.
She making news.
I saw that.
She said collusion.
Who is this? I think Dion Carter. Thanks for tapping in, Dion. The Laker organization has dealt with people like Luka before, Kareem, Shaq. They can handle him. See, this is not personality driven, dog. Luka has no personality. You don't see Luka like out. Luka doesn't even have a personality, dude. He's private. His problem is he's not committed to his game, bro. He know I'm just good. I can just roll out and just put up stats. Yeah, dude. But
that's hard to do.
Left. He is giving up 42%. Bro, I could drive past Luka Dončić right now, bro. 42% left.
What's he supposed to do?
And dude, go. You know what makes it worse? His effort is lackluster. I can see if it was just a lack of athleticism and he struggles to stay in front of people.
He does have lack of athleticism.
He does, but he doesn't give effort, bro. He doesn't even give max effort. That's the problem. That's the issue. Like, at least fake it. Fake it till you make it, bro. We know you can't play defense. We know. Austin Reeves can't play defense, but that cat Austin Reeves would dive, run hard, have the Opie hair, the little Opie cow lick.
He can't give you 30 and 15.
It don't matter. Doesn't matter.
He's
gonna fake it till he makes it, bro. He's gonna fake it till he makes it.
And he won't last as long as Luka does in the league.
Yeah. All I'm saying is, bro, that I don't know. Kareem never had a problem going to the gym. Never.
Kareem was different, though.
Now, Shaq had a problem getting big and working out, but Shaq was still 7, just going through you.
So what's the problem? That's what I'm saying. What's the problem?
Luka's not 7'2", dunking on cats, bro.
But Luka got a 3-point. Luka can score.
Guess what else Shaq was doing? Leading the league in blocks. Leading the league in rebounding. Deterring people from coming to the cup. You catching my drift? Are you catching my drift? We can talk about all his offense. He gives up the highest blow-by rate.
That's too much.
In the league for 2 seasons at 42%. That's insane. That's historical, Left. That's historical.
But he's putting too much effort on the one. He's putting a lot of effort on the other end, though. Like, James Harden don't play no defense.
That's worse. The fact that his blow-by rate is worse than James Harden? Because we know James Harden gives no darn about defense. None. None.
So that's all. I was like, why are they hyper Luka then?
None.
Why are they hyperinflating Luka then?
What do you mean?
They're making it seem like Luka the only one. James don't play no defense.
James is not up for 70 mil either. And James Harden would never get 70 mil. You prove, hey, great point.
He got close when he was hot in Houston.
He tried to pull that crap in Philly, and they told him to get the heck on. Like, dude, we not giving you. And at that time, I think it was 50 mil.
Jeez.
Yeah, dog. Well, shout out to everybody that hit me up. Great show. We'll be back tomorrow evening, right, Left?
Yep.
We'll be back tomorrow evening. Thank you for everybody that supported the premiere last night for The Voice. Baby Girl wasn't on episode 1. She was the lead promo. But she was the lead promo, but she wasn't on episode 1.
Oh, so you was faking the crowd out, huh, Sean?
No, we don't. You don't know who. They don't tell
Oh, you don't know how they order it.
No,
Oh,
you don't know the order, bro. They make you watch. They made us watch.
Oh yeah, you hanging on every contestant. Crazy.
All right. I'll see you guys, and appreciate you guys, man, for jumping in with us. Don't forget, have a great evening, but most of all, make sure you continue to spin it different. Hey, we got new merch, new logo up. Check it out.